Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Mind, Money, Soul. And today I'm going to talk about how to get out of your spending era. So if you feel like you have been in an era of just spending loads of money and you're like, I'm kind of fucking done with it, then I'm going to talk you through the 5, maybe 6 steps to help you get out of it. Now, caveat to this, if you are in your spending era, it does not necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Sometimes if we've been saving or investing and being quite consistent or committed for a while, it's okay to then go through a period of spending more. I'm a big believer that balance is not just 50-50 for the rest of your life, doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's knowing that sometimes you're going to save and invest more because maybe you're saving towards a big goal, and then sometimes you're going to spend more because you're just enjoying your money. But the aim is about understanding, being mindful and happy with your choices and what you prioritise. So I guess my first thing would be ask yourself, why do I want to be out of my spending era? Is it because you are in debt and you can't afford to be in your spending era? Then this is definitely more of a practical, responsible solution to what you're feeling. Or is it because you have a big goal that you want to hit, that you need to hit financially, and then it's probably more of an emotional situation to how you feel? Again, neither is good or bad. They're both neutral. It's just personal. That's why personal finance is personal. So, number 1, you need to reconnect with your why. Why do you want money? What can money do for you? Now, a lot of the time, a lot of us feel quite controlled by our finances, quite controlled by our money. It can make us feel certain things and we feel like our money is the one dictating what's going on, right? It doesn't have to be that way. And part of this is about putting yourself back in the driver's seat. So if you can reconnect with your why, reconnect with your values, that is going to really help you when it comes to practicing mindful spending and reining it in on the spending era. Because if you are reconnected with your why, your bigger picture, let's just say you really value your time and freedom and generosity, then tapping into how to spend less and to save more, invest more, or maybe even give more, by tapping into the why, you're creating an emotional feeling within you about your bigger picture, about your longer term. And I think in this day and age, because of consumerism and capitalism and social media, we find it hard to delay our gratification. So simply by reconnecting with your why can be really helpful. And one way to do this I like to do is by visualizing. So I actually have a visualization exercise that I will link in the show notes, but you kind of want to re-tap into that future version of yourself. Imagine yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Like, what does that look like? What do you want? You want to be able to look back on your life and say, I chose this. This life that I'm living right now is from the choices I made, not that my life chose me, you know? Okay, number 2, you want to realign with your financial goals. So what is it that you're actually working towards? Sometimes we can feel less motivated towards our goals and less disciplined towards our goals when we don't really know where we're headed. And we've kind of forgotten, or we've lost sight, or we've changed our mind. Like, what is it that you're actually working towards that means you need to spend less and save more? And if you're just like, oh, I kind of just want more in my emergency fund, oh, I don't know, I kind of just want to spend, naturally you're going to find it harder to save more and you're going to be more inclined to spend it, because that goal that you have is a little bit, I was going to say floppy, a little bit fluffy, and you don't feel so connected to it. So really aligning with your goals and what it is that you actually want is going to be important. Then you can see, has it changed since I last sat down and thought about this? And then where am I connecting and aligning with my goals on a daily basis? Do you have a vision board up? Do you have it on your lock screen? Do you talk to your friends about it regularly? Do you know, what is it that you're doing to keep you motivated and on track with your goals? Because this is going to help you be more mindful as you're spending, because you can be like, is this purchase taking me closer to or further away than my goals? Okay, number 3, have a proper money date with yourself. I'm talking ASAP. ASAP Rocky. So sometimes the thing that we need to do the most is to sit down and just look and figure out what the fuck is going on. And if you have a look back over your spending over the last few months and you can categorize it and you can say, wow, I've actually been spending loads on this, and you, instead of seeing it as all little £10 and £5 purchases here and there, you're actually able to identify where most of your money is going. Not only does this highlight you like how much you're spending so you can make a decision of, am I actually okay with this? But it also means you can see where your like weak spots are. You can see what the things you're like more likely to impulse spend on, and then you can build and create a toolkit to put friction, I guess, between you and that specific type of purchase. For example, if you are like, oh my god, I'm spending hundreds a month on like Ubers and taxis, well, you know, maybe I don't know, spending a day a week looking at your planner and being like, how do I make sure that I can conveniently travel around without having to spend that much on Ubers? Or maybe it's food and you're like, I am not prepared, so you can prep the week before. Maybe it's clothes and you're like, do you know what, I always shop right after I felt this, or I always shop when I go into the office. Okay, so I'm going to take a different route home from work. All of those things, and as you can hear, they all come down to preparation. So having a money day is going to allow you to see what's been going on and then actually make a plan for what is coming up. That's the thing. Making a plan for moving forwards. Again, preparation, baby. It's important. Okay, number 4. Automate your savings, even if it is literally £10 a month. Doesn't matter what the amount is, but the key thing here is that you are taking the emotion out of your saving. So you could build it up as well. You could start at £10 or £10 a week, and then you could go up to £20 a week, and you can put it up as you go. Now, some people like to do it on payday and just take it out in one lump sum, which I think is really great, because when you do it on, especially if you get paid monthly, if you do it on that month, on that payday, the money's gone. It's moved into your savings account. You don't have a chance to think about it, where at least if you're doing it weekly, if you do it weekly but you get paid monthly, then there is a risk that you spend that savings money. Obviously, it makes total sense to set your automations to your savings weekly if you get paid weekly. So probably set it in alignment with the way that you get paid or pay yourself. And honestly, I think you'll be surprised by how much of that money in your savings will go up, because you're not thinking about it. You're busy over here doing your thing, living your life. Your savings are growing for yourselves. And the great thing about automations as well is it makes you feel like you've got your shit together. It makes you feel prepared. It makes you feel like, I got this. And that, in turn, reinforces the idea that you know what to do with your finances, which in turn is going to make your behaviour align with what it is that you're actually working towards. So it's kind of this big cycle of goodness that I highly recommend. Okay, and number 5 is create a daily practice that helps you. So whether that is visualization, mindfulness, journaling, reading, meditating, maybe it's all of them, maybe it's none of them and it's something completely different, but how are you connecting to everything that we've just said on a daily basis? Because it is the small actions and habits that build up over time and compound and create the long-term effect that you're looking for. If you just rely on doing something once a month and then not thinking or doing anything about it again, that is where you're going to feel like it's not really going your way, and it's going to make it harder, because you are just going to be like, oh well, I'll just spend this money, I could probably afford it, or oh well, I'm not really connected to my goals right now. And all of this stuff is subconscious because we're not actually thinking that, but that's what our, I guess, subconscious thinking is thinking, and that's what's driving our behaviour. So if you can connect to it on a daily basis, every single day that you step foot outside your house, and if you live in London, you know that you can step outside the house and spend like 50 quid in 2 seconds. Every time you step outside the house, you're going in with this intention of like, yes, I am ready to like manage my money in a way that feels good for me. Yes, I am doing the things that I need to do to work towards my goals. Yes, this feels good. Money management doesn't feel so hard. I'm not in my spending era anymore. Oh, and to add to that, we love saying era, but maybe start saying to yourself, I'm in my saving era now. I'm in my saving era. Now, as we know, we're all coming up to summer. Summer is so fun. You end up spending your money. But I also think there's another side to summer where you actually don't have to spend as much money, because you kind of have like holidays, which can be expensive. Then you have like hanging out with your mates, but you just go sit in a park and drink beer. So that's pretty cheap. So know that you can have whatever type of summer you want, but it's okay to change your language around what era you're in. Use that language to actually benefit you and push you in the right direction. So that was a quick fire episode on the things that you can do to step out of your spending era and into your saving and investing era. Now, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or thoughts, please just slide into my DMs, and I will see you all next week.